Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Comic Book Syndicate. It's been a while. Yeah, we'll explain what's going on in a minute here, but I'm your co-host, Mike Allen, as always, and joined by Bex Luthor.
Hi, I watched the movie for you.
So what's happening is we, over the past few years slash months, have missed a couple movies when they first came out. And so we're kind of going back in reverse order and covering those now. And the latest one is Aquaman 2. What's the full title? The Lost Kingdom?
Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. I kept looking up Aquaman 2, and it was because of my current search history just bringing me issues of Aquaman.
Right, of course.
And unfortunately, I had to skip those and watch the movie instead.
So before we say anything, this was your first time seeing it, but I have seen it before. I saw it when it first came out at the theater, if you can believe that.
At least I only paid $4.99.
Woo! So before we say anything, were you a fan of the first one?
It was fine. It wasn't like my favorite interpretation of the character, but it was fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was okay. This one was noticeably weaker.
So I will say, I liked everything in this movie except for two things.
Okay.
The first one was the script and the dialogue. And the second one was Aquaman. And so unfortunately for me, that was most of the movie.
You know, here's the thing. If I would have watched the first one like back to back, I'd have more to say about that. But Jason Momoa, it was partly the way he was written, but he was getting on my nerves. The character is like, he's cool, but the characterization was getting on my nerves.
He's going to be such a good Lobo.
Yes, I agree.
Fuck, I absolutely hated him in this movie.
Well, when he's walking along with what's his brother? Is it Patrick Wilson?
Yeah, Orm.
Yeah, Orm, and they're trying so hard to make him a bro.
He's an asshole. He's just a jerk.
Yeah, so
unlikable. An unlikable protagonist. The movie starts with this voiceover, which I think no movie should ever have voiceovers unless it's characters' thoughts, because I don't want you to tell me what happened. I want you to show me I'm watching a movie.
Right. Yeah.
But the voiceover at the beginning, as soon as it was like explaining the previous movie and what's happened since then, and he's like, and I'm Aquaman and I'm awesome. And I was like, this sucks. This sucks major.
Well, and then don't they kick into some music right away? Like some retro music?
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, because he's like showing off his kid.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So it's been 2 weeks since I've seen it, but the movie opens with him beating the crap out of some guys, but then it cuts to him playing with toys with his son.
Yeah. And we cut out all of Mara because I forgot that the Amber Heard Johnny Depp thing was going on, so they cut all of her scenes from this movie, which makes it worse.
More incoherent, yeah.
Well, it makes no sense because then you just have a baby with no mother.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the time. But yeah, I thought it was not going to be as good as the first one, because the first one was like at least semi-enjoyable. Like, I don't remember hating my life. Dude, this was a slog of 2 hours.
Here's the thing is, I know, I appreciate what they were going for. Like, hey, we're going to do, like, I don't remember where they said somewhere, they're like, we're going to do a buddy movie, like Lethal Weapon, like, we're going to have a crazy guy and a serious guy, and we're going to have them play off each other. But it doesn't quite work. And it always seems like they're trying too hard, right? Like, it's not ever really that funny.
No.
Right?
There are not many jokes that are funny. In fact, I'm pretty sure the first joke in this movie is the baby peeing in Aquaman's mouth. Right. And then there is a time when Mara uses her abilities to control all water to move the pee into his mouth. And I went, oh, what the fuck is going on?
That was
guys, that's not it. Comedy. I just don't get it, I guess. No, what? Bad.
The thing is, Jason Momoa is very appealing, but his humor in this doesn't work. Patrick Wilson's not known for comedy. Amber Heard is not known for comedy, so I don't know why they picked. Whatever, that's fine.
You know what? Sure, they were going for something. It was a big miss, I think, for me. Mm-hmm. And I think that none of this works.
No, none of it works. I agree.
I just when you got to the first couple scenes and you're like, this isn't funny, maybe rewrite it to make it more serious, because there's parts of this movie that they're trying to say something about global warming.
Yeah.
But when there's pee in the mouth, it doesn't, you can't, like, there's some dysregulation there between the message
disconnect
and what you're doing.
Well, the tone is all off.
Completely all over the place. Like, there's scenes where Aquaman and Ocean Master are like being brothers or whatever, and he's being serious, and Aquaman's not. And I'm like, I hate Aquaman. Like, this is a serious situation. Like, I'm not having a fun time watching this movie. I'm angry at the main character and his choices. And I was like, why isn't Orm the king again? I don't remember why he's not the king again, because, like, he seems like way more responsible.
Well, and also it just felt like they were trying way too hard to make them Thor and Odin, right?
Or Thor and Loki, brothers. Yeah.
Or Thor and Loki, yeah, Thor and Loki. Just way too hard, and it stuck out like a sore thumb. Like, you could see that that's what they were going for. That's what I thought.
Very trying to be Ragnarok.
Right.
Like, and unfortunately, I hated it.
Yeah. So I want to talk about the special effects, but first let's go through the actors quickly. We talked about Jason Momoa.
Sorry, Jason. I love Jason Momoa.
Yeah, I like him too. He's great, but he was just poorly written in this. Patrick Wilson is okay.
He's fine.
Yeah.
I think he was doing his best with what he could do. Like, I'm not blaming a lot of the actors for this, because the writing is absolutely abysmal. Like, the dialogue in this movie is so bad.
I agree.
But
never funny.
There are points when, like, Patrick Wilson is doing stuff, and I'm like, cool, yeah, go. And, like, near the end of the movie, when he has his, like, little redemption where he saves the guy who hates him, I was like, yay. But other than that, I'm like, sorry, Glenn, you were fine.
Sorry, you talked about the writing. Even, the whole, like, what's this statue say? Leaders build bridges or whatever. Then at the end of the movie, it comes back. It's so writing 101, right?
Well, I knew as soon as he said that he was going to knock over the big statue and make a bridge. And then we didn't need to reference that bad joke again.
No.
That was...
Well, because that was them trying to make a theme, but it was just so in your face and so on the nose, right?
But at no point did the two brothers ever reconcile or have a conversation or... Because, like, Orm tried to invade the surface world, and that's why Aquaman didn't want him to and took over the throne. And then there's one throwaway line where he's like, yeah, and I didn't even want to be king. I just didn't want you to attack the surface world. And Orm was like, wait a second. My father told me my entire life that you were going to try to usurp me. And Aquaman's like, nah, I hate the job. And then they don't talk about it at all for the rest of the movie. And I'm like, that's their entire character arcs. Why isn't that the movie?
I know.
And then they're just like friends at the end. After they fought together a couple times. There was nothing building a relationship.
Yeah. It's not. Nothing's resolved. Yeah. It's just like they hand wave it. It kind of reminds me of like how in Civil War, after like Civil War ended on such a tantalizing cliffhanger of, oh, what's gonna happen with these two characters, and then the next Avengers movie, they're like, hey, whoa, what's up? Oh, okay, fine. That was it. Didn't they try to kill each other 5 minutes ago? Anyway.
Yeah, it was like really the central plot of the movie was their, lying to each other and keeping secrets and the big fight that the bug's on the poster.
It just wipes out the purpose of an entire movie, but whatever, right?
What do we know? We just read issues of comics that span 40, 50 years of character development. Right.
Right. Okay, then we already mentioned her, but we've got Amber Heard as is it Mara?
Mara, yeah.
Mara, well, I guess I should know that, yeah.
They cut all of her scenes, so she's fine. I was never invested or followed any of the drama going on with that, but also, like, pretty sure she won one of the court cases and that proved that she was assaulted. Like, I don't know.
I don't know how that thing ended, but as far as her as an actress, I never saw the appeal in her anyway. I don't even know how she got this job, to be honest.
I remember liking her in the first movie.
Okay.
The few parts in this movie that she is in, I do like. Like, I don't know if it's more so Amber Heard or just like because I like the character of Mara. I like how she's like takes over like royal responsibility. She heads the army in scenes. Then they like obviously she gets injured and they write her out of the whole entire rest of the movie um, until the end.
Right. 100%.
But her
Yeah.
powers are cool, like controlling water. They She uses it creatively sometimes. But yeah, she was definitely in this movie a lot more and they cut it all out and
Yeah.
it shows.
Yeah. 100%. You're right.
But what they do with her as a mother makes no sense because they cut out all of her scenes. So it's just like Aquaman's a single dad, even though he's not. There's a it's very weird.
At any point, were you ever worried that Arthur Jr. was going to die like he does in the comics?
No, why would they kill a baby? It's a PG-13 movie.
I don't know. They did in the comics.
Yeah, anyone can die in a comic book,
Yeah.
but I thought maybe they were gonna kill Mara.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Or Arthur's dad. I thought they were gonna kill him.
I actually thought he was. Yeah, I thought he was dead at one point, but then he was alive.
But then they kept him alive for whatever reason. What I never understood the whole movie is why is the baby on land? The baby is 75% Atlantean.
We're gonna talk about that. We're talking about the whole Atlantis thing after.
Okay.
Yeah, but I want to talk about.
Put a pin in that one because I have questions.
Sure. Okay. Okay.
And arguments.
And there's only a couple more actors.
Yeah, there's like 5 people in this movie.
Yeah. Yaha Abdul Mateen as Black Manta.
Man,
he's pretty good.
I was gonna say he's too good for this movie. Holy shit! I hope what has he been up to? Because I hope he gets a role as like somebody because
I guess he was in Handmaid's Tale. I didn't know that.
Oh, good, because he is good. Like,
wait a minute, he's Wonder Man. I had no idea he's Wonder Man.
Never mind, he's fine. Yeah, that's
heck?
He's fantastic.
Okay.
And Wonder Man has been getting great reviews. I haven't watched it yet, but it's on the list for sure. But he is leagues above everybody else in this movie. And I don't know if it's because of the writing, whatever, or if he just refused to say the dumb shit that they told him to say and was just saying cool stuff instead. Only good character in the movie. The whole movie, he's like trying to destroy the world, and I'm like, yes, Black Manta, I agree. Everyone else sucks.
Here's the thing, we've talked about this before on the show. He's a good actor, and I'm glad he's doing well. But he's already played Black Manta. Why does he have to be Wonder Man? And speaking of, why does Randall Park, who plays Stephen Shin, he's already in Marvel, what's it called?
Ant-Man.
WandaVision and Ant-Man.
And WandaVision. Different universes. You gotta get your pictures from DC and Marvel.
But I look at it from the point of view of like, there's got to be more actors out there that need work. That's how I see it. And also it's confusing when I see like J.K. Simmons playing J. Jonah Jameson and also playing what's his name? Commissioner Gordon. I just don't like that.
Yeah, it's a lot. We reuse our actors. When you're like, I want to be in a superhero movie, you're in superhero movies for the rest of your life.
Right.
But it is very much like a trend of being in a bad superhero movie and then getting to be in a good superhero movie. We got Chris Evans. We got this guy now. Ryan Reynolds. However you consider good for Ryan Reynolds. Deadpool's better than Green Lantern, at least.
That's true.
But
so I don't know. I just think that there's more people to choose from, but that's just me. Other people don't mind.
Yeah, I like. He's the only interesting part of this movie to me. Is like he's like avenging his father's death, which I totally forgot that Aquaman just straight up lets his dad die, and that's part of his like character arc in the first movie. And he's like not over it, and then he gets corrupted and destroys the like. I think it's cool. It could have been a good premise for a good villain. There are a couple fight scenes that he's in that are not bad when it's like Aquaman, Orm, and Black Manta fighting, and he's doing some cool, nice stuff. It's cool. But it doesn't. It's fine.
No, yeah, I know.
It's just weird that he's the bad guy again.
I know. That's what I mean. There's a lot of missed opportunities. Like, and again, for someone who's read as many Aquaman comics as me, I should know more about the character. But I've only read them like, it doesn't matter. But I can't think of who else they would have as a villain. I don't really know.
Uh,
But if you have Google open,
I just let me look into my my mind
oh,
quickly.
okay, 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 okay.
Uh, his villains include his arch enemy Black Manta and his half brother Ocean Master. I guess we went through the list already.
Okay, that's it. All right, not a very big rogues gallery.
No,
We don't have to talk about.
Aquaman not known for his rogues gallery, I guess.
Yeah, no. We don't have to talk about every actor, but we should mention, I didn't even realize this, that Martin Short plays Kingfish. Did you know that?
He voices him, yeah.
I had no idea.
Sounded like
Wow.
him.
Okay. I just didn't put two and two together.
Do you think
Just
he did mocap for it too?
maybe, I don't know.
I don't think they put him in a mocap suit to be a fish man.
I don't
They
know.
CG'd that fish.
Well, okay. Now we got to talk about the CG. So I'm watching this movie, and there's two things that really stood out to me. And I'm not an expert on CGI.
Good
But
thing I am.
yeah, but number one is there's way too much of it. And there's a subtle difference between a film, like film CGI, and a video game. And this movie looked too much like a video game. And I was trying to figure out why. And one of the things I identified like 10 years ago in the Amazing Spider-Man films with Andrew Garfield is that the camera tends to fly around the characters in a way that could not be possible if the camera was operated by a human being.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's one reason I don't like most CGI. And I was also comparing the old Star Trek movies to the reboot movies. And when they're flying through space, the camera is flying around as fast as a spaceship would fly. But in the old movies, the camera is here and you just see like, you know, but at least it makes you feel like, oh, you're a human on the ground and you're watching a spaceship fly by and it feels real.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the reasons I don't like the special effects in this movie. What do you think?
I think why it works in video games and doesn't work in movies is because when you're in playing the video game, you're the character that the camera is circling around. So it's like this is you and your universe. I'm watching an Aquaman movie. I'm not playing the Aquaman game, so I'm not Aquaman.
Right. Yeah,
So
that could be it.
It does give a disconnect because I play a lot of video games and I play a lot of superhero video games and I play a lot of good superhero video games and a lot of bad superhero video games. And the when they do, obviously, video games, not real footage. So it's a little bit of a disconnect there already. So you're already not looking at a real person. But yeah, the first scene in this movie where Aquaman's fighting pirates is like the worst set I've ever seen. And then everything else is CG.
Right.
And I was like, no, go back to the bad set. The water was fine, but it wasn't cool. And a lot of the times it didn't look like they were underwater. It just looked like they were standing there.
This is what I wanted to talk about.
Not in the water.
I actually, halfway through the movie, was like, wait a minute. Are they supposed to be underwater? Because their hair was animated. Did you notice that?
But that's the only thing.
Exactly. There was no bubbles. Why are there no bubbles?
No bubbles. Everyone's standing flat on the ground.
Yeah.
For some reason, like
okay, and there's another really weird thing I noticed. There's an echo in everyone's voice. If everyone's I know it's a movie, but if everyone's talking underground, it would be the opposite of an echo because they're in water. It should sound like, muffled and like this, if anything.
Yeah. But like, unless their Atlantean ears are different than human ears, and they can hear it clearly.
Sure.
But maybe not an echo. The other thing that really took me out of this movie. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. We can talk. I just want to finish talking about the water. Can we talk about the water?
Yeah.
Okay. Also, we know that when things are underwater, there's less light, so things are darker. It's almost like they did everything wrong. It's like, okay, they had no bubbles. The echo was wrong. The color was wrong. They were, like you said, they were standing. Why aren't they just floating? So they kind of had to make a decision, and they didn't. What they should have done is, because I've thought about this, because I like Aquaman, but it's hard to depict actors underwater. Maybe they should be like, like in Phantom Menace, when they swim up and they come out into like these air bubble enclosures.
Yeah, where
It's
Atlantis could be like land underwater.
right. They might as well. It's like if we're gonna not do all the proper things anyway, why don't we just make them talk in these air bubbles? And then when they have to move from building to building, they just swim, just like in Phantom Menace. That's how they should do it.
Yeah, it's like there's still inside. There's
Right.
like inside buildings or inside houses, but then there's outside, and outside is water, and inside
Yeah.
is contained. And the Atlanteans can just breathe. They're fine. We don't. It doesn't. It's fine.
Yeah. They might as well do it that way.
Yeah, so that's a big like problem with this whole movie because it takes place very much underwater. And then when they're not underwater, it's not as like it should be way more like, oh my God, they're on land, but they act the exact same. No, there's no like the only person who should be able to do both is Aquaman, but everybody's fine. There's
Right. Good
no
point.
disconnect between Orm being on land or under the water or showing that he's like more graceful. Like there's a little joke where he like gets taught to run because he's never ran on land before. But then he's immediately great at it.
Yeah, that was funny for like 5 seconds, but then it didn't really work. But it was a good idea. It was a good attempt.
Like, and then in the final battle, which I didn't realize until like halfway through, I was like, they're all on land until I saw like the scientist guy, Steven, whatever his name is, until I saw him and I was like, oh wait, they're not underwater.
Uh-huh.
And then I was like, oh, why?
Yep.
Everybody besides him can breathe underwater.
Uh-huh.
He could have been in his suit. It wasn't like he was fighting. He was holding a baby that should arguably be able to breathe underwater, but it's never in the water.
I know. That's what I mean. Like, I don't know. It's like there's another thing about CGI I think I noticed is that in a video game, like if you're looking at a big scene, the color, like in real life, color kind of like light fades off. Like if you're looking at something, the farther away it is, there's less detail and theoretically less light, maybe. But in a video game, everything is the same because it's all fake, right? And I think in this movie, that's another problem is that there was never really a sense of depth. Everything looked like all the colors and all the detail all the time. But there was never
flat.
Yes, there was never a way to draw your eye to anything. And this is the problem with you're essentially letting the CGI animators direct the movie. Whenever there's CGI on screen, I know that this is the way Hollywood works, but it shouldn't. It really should still be the director going, no, this is the shot. This is where the monster is going to be. You know, this is the background, because that's part of their job. They should be telling the animators exactly how to do that stuff, but I don't think they do.
It's almost like, and I hate to say this man's name, but it's the reason why the Transformer movie action scenes work is because Michael Bay was directing empty space because he knew where he wanted the Transformers to go.
I mean, I hate those scenes, but I guess I know what you mean.
But the way that they are filmed is for an audience. Like it's like your eyes go right to the Transformers.
Sure,
like,
okay.
There's the scenes in this movie where they're in like the weird pirate cove and it's all just like a wash of color and it's supposed to be like all these bad guys and cool and it's so flat and it's so boring.
Yeah.
I can't put my eye to any one thing. It's just like a wash of blah. And 100%. I want to say whoever did the character design for that scene, you need to go back to Star Wars because it was just like it looked literally like a Guardians of the Galaxy bar where there's like aliens from all over the place here instead of aquatic people that have evolved from the earth. Like they shouldn't be so alien. They should be fish people. Sure. Right. Like, you could have humanoids and you can have fish people and you can have a mishmash of the in between. Like, you can have a big talking fish even. They had one of those, but a lot of the characters look weirdly alien. And some of the only ones that I liked were the ones that were mostly fish. So, like, they had, like, the shark guards. And I was like, yes, that's what I want from the Aquaman movie. I want to see the fish people and not, like, vaguely aquatic. Like they were all Admiral Akbars, and that's not what I want. I
Well,
want Earth fish.
now that I think about it, I know that we've kind of gotten to the point where it's expected, but does there have to be 1,000 Atlanteans in every Aquaman film? Why can't they just do the story? I mean, this is asking too much, but why can't they just make it smaller scale, right? Does it have to be like Lord of the Rings in the water? Does it have to be? I guess it does, right? That's what people want.
Yeah, I want, but that comes back to the one point I was gonna make too. There's no fish in this movie. Where are all the fish?
That is a good
There's
point.
one scene where Aquaman's riding a seahorse, and that's cool, but all the Atlanteans are riding robots. It's all tech. It's all hyper Wakandan tech. And then there's one scene at the end with the whales, and there's no fish. There's no,
That's
the
a good
baby
point.
talks to fish once. This is Aquaman. He talks to fish. Where are the fish? They should be in every single scene. There's an octopus, but there should be 30 octopi. Like, where are...
You're totally right.
When everyone was riding those robotic sharks, I was like, why aren't they just riding sharks? Why do they have to be robotic sharks? You have the ability to ride sharks, and it's Aquaman, and you're Atlanteans. You should be riding sharks. It
That's a good
very much
point.
pissed me off. I was like, this is bullshit. It doesn't look like they're underwater. There's no fish. There's no dolphins. There's no anything.
I totally agree. And I didn't even think about that. But you're right. It's like they need to go back to the drawing board with everything and and they're going to with this next reboot. But they just need to rethink the whole thing. Like they basically decided, okay, we're going to do Lord of the Rings in the water, but they did it not as good. And also, it's not really Aquaman.
Yeah, they just ignored all of the source material.
Right.
They're like, we're just going to do big, cool battles. Oh, what are the battles for? Huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Shut up.
That's
Watch
exactly.
your stupid movie, you stupid loser.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. You're 100% right. Yeah.
It was aggravating because you open an Aquaman comic and the page is bright blue and there's all kinds of Atlanteans because there's like Zeeble and different dimensions under the water because Mara's from another dimension technically, right? There's all that Aquaman lore. But like there's sharks and there's shark people and there's turtle people and like they all coexist underwater because it's a huge society of the ocean coexisting. But it just feels like people on the land.
Right.
And it sucked.
So, okay, I just looked up the screenwriter. So apparently the story for this film was by James Wan, Jason Momoa, Thomas Sabet, and David Leslie Johnson McGoldrick, who also wrote the screenplay. And I looked him up, and he's done a bunch of schlock like Wrath of the Titans and The Conjuring. But he also wrote The Orphan. Did you ever see The Orphan?
James Wan wrote The Orphan?
No.
Oh.
No, David Leslie Johnson wrote The Orphan.
I did not see it, but I know about it.
It is a good thriller. You should see it. It's actually really good.
Yeah.
So obviously this guy knows how to write, but I think
he wrote the first Aquaman.
Yeah. I just think at this point it becomes like, yeah, I mean, the studio is standing over his shoulder, telling him, okay, we need this, we need that. We got to fit in Aquaman's camouflage suit, which was okay. What'd you think of that?
It just looked like a Captain America ripoff where they were just doing that again. They made him a stealth suit. This movie really, really wanted to take everything that I liked about Aquaman away from Aquaman.
True.
Like his sense of duty.
Right.
His temperament, his outfit, his cool hook hand. Just give him the hook hand.
I'm surprised they didn't. I'm surprised this version of Aquaman doesn't have the hook. You're right.
That'd be so rad.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also looking up James Wan. I forgot. He did
Fast and the Furious.
Yeah, but he also did Saw.
Oh, he did. I didn't know. I forgot about that.
So, yeah, he filmed the Saw movie, which is one of the best modern, small budget, small in a scene horror movies. At least for me, I love Saw, the first one. I think it's really well done. It's very tight. It's very, a scary movie. Why did they give him so much to do here? They should have just made it smaller. He can clearly do that very well.
Of course, but would never like this is the thing. This movie cost 215 million and it made 440. So that's kind of not really a success. But I think we all agree, like we talked about Deadpool earlier. One of the reasons that the first Deadpool was so good is because the budget was cut. And they go, oh, well, we can only afford to have Aquaman and what was it, Negasonic Teenage Warhead?
Yeah.
Like that's what made the movie good is the fact that they had to make the script better. They had to make it funnier, right?
Yeah, we're
That
not just gonna throw a bunch of money in the CGI and make a spectacle.
right.
I think these smaller budget movies are better
100%. There's
because
no
they're just
question.
wasting their money
Yeah.
on big actors to fill very small roles that they don't have to do that with,
Mhm.
and a bunch of computer generated images that they also don't need to do.
Mhm.
Imagine how cool this movie would have been if you saw some real sharks. They just like
That'd be
filmed some
nice.
sharks.
Hmm.
Like, or some of the budget went to, you know, some marine, like some
Yeah.
cinematography. I don't
Or
know.
just yeah, like you're right. Just yeah, cut out all the army stuff and just have like giant squids and giant manta rays and all that stuff or something, right?
Yeah, like, and I get having some sort of CG because there are people underwater. That's fine, but it took over the entire movie to the point where
Hmm.
I was like, it's either a bad set or just a CGI backdrop of schlop, and
Hmm.
it was gross.
And the thing is the one thing about Aquaman is depending on who's writing it, there's always a little bit of magic, a little bit of, like to me, the ocean is bigger than the land of the earth. So there's in almost infinite amount of mysterious places to visit. So they should be going underwater. And in this movie, of course, they find like literally the Lost Kingdom, but it should be more magical. Like I got to keep giving credit to Phantom Menace, the underrated Star Wars prequel.
Hey, I
But
love Phantom Menace.
exactly. And why not have like that Italian city that they basically just filmed in and called it Naboo? Like, let's get something like that that's underwater. Like, give us a classical looking cool thing that's underwater or like monsters underwater or something. I don't know. Just have more imagination. You got all this money, but everything just looks so generic, eh?
And like they keep talking about ancient Atlantean technology, and it's all just like very modern looking things. They needed
Right.
to, like, again, the character design was just kind of not it. Like the set design, same things. Where was all like the Greek inspiration for
Right.
Atlantis?
Right.
Like it's Atlantis. Poseidon rules the seas. Like Poseidon is a real character in in DC universe that Aquaman fights sometimes.
Well,
So where's that
that
influence?
that raises an interesting point is the technology. It's almost like they should have had, how there's retro futurism? It should have been like
Mhm.
retro. It's almost like show like what would it be like if ancient Greek people had cool technology? So you know how there's like steampunk? It's almost like
Yeah.
make it steampunk, but not steampunk like Greek ancient Greek punk, where
Yes.
there's a mixture of like, oh, this is a cool thing that can go through the water, but it has weird features on it that we would not have because we're modern. But it almost looks like it could fit in ancient Greece, right?
Yeah, there was a couple times when they had like some sort of ancient creatures or whatever, but mostly it was like the big octopus like machines, and I'm like, I don't think this is what why does it make this ancient? Why does it
Right.
why was it locked away? Like why don't we still use this? Because clearly they're very good.
Hmm.
They're good ship designs. But yeah, it's just it's there's a lack of creativity in the
Yeah.
design element of this movie, and it feels like to me they were just trying to Wakandify Atlantis.
Agree.
And with Wakanda, they have the vibranium, which makes it so that they can have an advanced set of technology. Atlantis can have its own technology, but they just have guns and ships.
Hmm.
It's not interesting. Like it's not Why
Yeah.
isn't it more tailored to the environment? Like these are a whole level of people who've evolved underwater. It needs to be more that. Like,
Yeah.
why is that? Why are we just making submarines? Why would people underwater need submarines?
That's a great point. Yeah, you know what? There's no thought put into any of this. They need to have somebody, well, the writer, sit down and think of, okay, yeah, if they had been underwater and they're living underwater for thousands of years, they would have a completely different kind of technology. They would think of different things, right? Like, I remember in Alan Moore's Miracle Man, there's an alien spaceship that crashes on Earth, and its shape is like nothing that we can imagine. It's all this weird shape. And the other thing is that inside the ship, there's no stairs because everyone on the ship can fly. So that's just that's a minor idea, but it's smart. You just go, oh yeah, of course you wouldn't need that. So it's
Yeah,
kind of like
your
it's like
people don't need to climb stairs.
right. So it's like in this movie, they should have thought of all the things that would make it different. But instead, there's that scene at the beginning when they're sitting on like that council, and but why are they all sitting in like these thrones?
Yeah, they're just sitting in
Maybe
chairs.
they're just literally sitting in chairs. So it's like, okay, well, if we're underwater, maybe it would be something else. I have no idea what, but that's their job. They have to think of it,
I
right?
was gonna say you're not being paid to write the Aquaman script. Like
Right,
I could probably come up with something if that was my job,
right.
but it's so many. It's just way too human.
Mm,
And like I think one of the big things that they'd show in the movie to like differentiate the Atlanteans and the humans is like he makes Orm eat a cockroach, and Orm's like, "Eh,
yeah.
it's pretty good." And I'm like, so food's different, but walking on land is the same
But
for
this, yeah,
Atlanteans.
good point. Now, here's the thing about that joke is it didn't land. It didn't click because the joke is supposed to be that Aquaman is tricking Orm into thinking it's normal to eat cockroaches, and the
Mhm.
audience is supposed to be grossed out by it. But at the same time, I think what you're saying is, well, if they're Atlantean, then maybe they do eat cockroaches, or maybe they do eat this weird stuff. So maybe it's not funny. Like, is it supposed to be funny, or is it not? I don't know.
Yeah, because he says like shrimp of the surface or something. Yeah, shrimps are just bugs. They
I know
probably do eat that. So like,
exactly.
why would it be weird for him to eat a land bug?
Right.
But also like, if humans don't eat bugs, maybe Atlanteans don't eat bugs.
Yeah, or something. They just have to think of it. They have to make it clear. But it's one of those things where none of this stuff is made clear. So it's like they're just throwing stuff at a wall
And
and
then
hoping something sticks.
the joke doesn't even work because at no point does Aquaman make fun of him for eating a bug. He just goes, "Yep, eats a bug."
That's the thing is that it's almost like we need Aquaman to wink at the audience or to make a face behind his back or to like almost puke or something, but it's not made clear that he's making fun of him or playing a prank on him, right?
Yeah.
So,
And then they just do a callback in the after credit scene of him putting a cockroach on his cheeseburger to make it better.
but
I'm like,
why don't they show other people being grossed out by it?
because I guess it's not, I guess it's fine.
Right.
They thought it was funny to make him eat a cockroach. But the
I
act
think
of eating a cockroach itself isn't funny. The joke is in the people reacting
the
to the eating
context, exactly. It's the context, right?
We almost got there. We got it like 2/3 of the way through the joke, but we
Yeah.
forgot the part that's funny.
Yes, exactly, exactly. Exactly. We figured it out.
That's this whole movie.
So, here's the thing. I just rewatched The Batman.
Ooh, I wish we could have watched that instead.
I mean, here's the thing. Yeah, I have mixed feelings about that movie, but they thought that fucker through,
Somebody put some
right?
effort into the Batman.
Yes. They thought of everything. Even though I have problems with the way the story arc is, they thought of everything. They really thought of everything. And like it's the cinematography is the I think the best of any Batman movie. I think the feel of Gotham is maybe the best, maybe except for Tim Burton's.
I do
Um,
like the weird Gotham of Tim
yeah.
Burton.
Yeah, me too, me too. But in this movie, they didn't do that. They didn't have anyone sitting there going, "This is what this is. This is the style. This is our tone." They just didn't do that.
And it very much shows in the final product of like Oh yeah, we're making an Aquaman movie. Oh, what is it about? Aquaman.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right.
what does he do? He fights guys like Superman.
Yes.
He's Superman, but it's gonna be underwater. Oh, how is it different? Um, he has a stick.
Yeah. Listen, I think that I mean this is the tail end of the Snyderverse,
This
right?
was the last of the DCEU
Yeah.
movies, and they almost scrapped this movie, I think, like 12 times.
That's so ridiculous. But I think what it shows is that DC plateaued. Just like, I mean, the MCU, everyone's complaining about the MCU, and it's plateaued as well, but this plateaued much lower. But I think that it's kind of like it's almost like every 5 or 10 years, audiences get sick of the superhero genre, and then they have to up it a little bit, which is good because I want them to up it. But this was the last of, how when we go back and rewatch like Daredevil and Elektra
Mhm.
and all those movies, I think at that time, it's almost like it's almost like they go, what can we get away with? Okay, we can get away with a 4 out of 10. How many 4 out of 10s can we get away with? And then the audience gets sick of them and they go, okay, now it's gonna be 5 out of 10.
Yeah, let's go.
Right? And I think I don't know what this is. This is maybe a 6 out of 10, but now audiences want a 7 out of 10. That's the problem.
We're not ready for a 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
But I mean, this movie didn't do well. People did not like it.
True.
And I agree with them.
Yeah.
Because, again, there are parts of this movie that I think are good. Black Manta, I think, is good. There are some things with Atlanta and her sons I think is good. Unfortunately, that's like 40 seconds of the movie.
I know.
Can we talk about the baby?
Sure, let's start with the baby. What would you like to say about the baby?
Why have him have a son if it doesn't matter at all?
That's a good point.
Also, why isn't he underwater? He is the future king of Atlantis. Why is this baby not being protected by Atlantean guards? Why is he just hanging out with Grandpa?
That's a good point. And well, this also ties back to the whole thing about how they're all underwater, but they don't look underwater. Now we have a baby that's just on land. Like, why?
And he's 75% Atlantean. Like, he's like
Right.
mostly fish.
Mhm.
He should be. At no point is this baby ever under the water in the movie, which
Right.
baffling choice.
Mhm.
Even though we show that he talks to fish, however, that never comes up again.
Mhm. Mhm.
Aquaman is like, oh my
Right.
god, somebody I get to share my gift with. Never
Mhm.
comes up again in the movie. Doesn't use it to save the day. Nothing regarding the kid being able to talk to fish. Again, not relevant. It doesn't save him. Like maybe like
Mhm.
he talks to an octopus and the octopus grabs him out of Black Manta's arms or something. No, that doesn't happen.
Mhm.
He's just a blob. It's not a character.
Mhm.
But then they don't even use the baby. The baby's like a MacGuffin. Like it's just like a plot device to get everybody to come to fight Black Manta at the end. But then they don't even use the baby to resurrect the old king. So it doesn't matter.
Right.
It
It's a
didn't matter at
mess.
all.
Mhm.
None
Mhm.
of it mattered. Uh, and then there's so many plot holes in this movie. So like when Orm grabs the black trident, he like gets possessed. But when Aquaman does, he doesn't. Why? Because he's
Yeah.
better?
Yeah. Well, I think I mean, I'm only going to assume that at some point, because they did do major reshoots, and that's when that's also where they cut out a lot of Amber Heard stuff. I think at one point they just went, who gives a shit? Plus, they also knew this was going to be the last Snyderverse movie, right?
Yeah, everybody I think working on this movie, and you could kind of tell, knew that nothing else was going to come from this. So it was just a paycheck at the end of the day. And
Yep.
maybe not even one.
Right. Well, yeah, because they could delete it for all we know, right? I mean, I think they still get
I
paid
gave
if
him
they delete it.
$5.
Yeah. I gave them
So-
more than that. I gave them my theater ticket price. Anyway.
Mike gave them $1,000.
Yeah. So
And he
Okay,
got
so-
one popcorn.
so obviously we know that James Gunn is going to reboot Aquaman. We've talked about some of the things we would like to see, but what is your ideal Aquaman? Like, what is there a comics era you'd like to see adapted?
Not necessarily, but probably just like like an old school golden age Aquaman. I want
Okay.
I would love the King of Atlantis to have a movie and him be regal. I just want the Justice League animated series Aquaman.
Okay, okay.
Like, I want him to be cool, and I want him to be strong, and I want him to give a shit about people, specifically his people. I want him to care about the land and the sea. I want him to talk to fish. And I want him to not say bro ever again.
I know, I know. Well, I mean, the one cool way to do it is you take a guy who's just a regular guy, and then he basically wakes up one day and finds out, oh, by the way, you're the king of Atlantis. And then to just throw him into this, it's almost like Game of Thrones. You throw him into this world and like, okay, now all of a sudden you're running a kingdom. That's a cool idea. But they don't do that. Like they have to decide, what genre are we going for? Are we going for Game of Thrones underwater? Or are we going for superheroes? Or are we mixing? Is it going to be Lethal Weapon? Is it going to be a freaking comedy? Because like, remember there was that one joke where Orm either he attacks someone and then he gets knocked over and he slides into the frame. Remember that part?
Yes.
It's like, okay, I get it. That's funny, but you can't just have a movie that's like, okay, Lord of the Rings. Oh, but we're gonna copy and paste a little bit of Bugs Bunny and a little bit of Guardians of the Galaxy and a little bit of this. And that's what all these DC movies, like the Snyderverse movies do, is they just, whatever trend is happening, like remember the first Suicide Squad where it was filmed to be serious, then Guardians of the Galaxy hit. So they reshot it all to be like Guardians of the Galaxy. You can't do a movie that way.
You have to start with an idea and
Right.
keep that idea. I feel like the DCU character of Aquaman doesn't ever have a character arc. He has
Right.
no growth. Like, has nothing. He finds out that he's the son of the Queen of Atlantis,
Mhm.
and he's like sick. And then that's it. There's like I want like an Aragorn level of like trust and loyalty and what's the word I'm looking for?
Honor.
Honor. A sense
Right.
of honor.
Mm-hmm.
Aquaman doesn't work as the lead for a buddy cop comedy, I think. There are tons of DC characters. Booster Gold is right there.
Sure. And Blue Beetle, right
They
there.
are
You're right.
literally right there. So why can't Aquaman be the cool Lord of the Rings movie that it could be?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's why the best Marvel movies that work are not. This isn't a Captain America movie. This is a like thriller,
Political thriller, yeah.
a political
right.
thriller about Captain America.
Mm-hmm.
This is like a coming of age story about Miss Marvel. Like the
Mhm.
good stuff is stories first
Mm-hmm.
and then spectacle after. But this one they were like just like Aquaman, he's orange, green,
Mm-hmm. 100%.
and it like doesn't. Okay, so what story do we want to tell though? Well, we want to
Mhm.
tell a story about Aquaman. Okay, but what what is happening to
Mhm.
Aquaman? Like they don't think about that. They just want to make an Aquaman movie. They just want to make a Batman movie. They just wanted to make a Green Lantern movie, and they shouldn't have done that.
Mhm.
So that's like the best comic books arcs are ones where somebody had a genuinely interesting idea and a story came from that.
Yeah, of course.
But
Not here.
as we've read a lot of bad Spider-Man where the people involved in the creation of the comics were just trying to fill their quota for the week to
Yes,
get another
100%.
issue out. And that
Yeah.
doesn't make good content.
No.
Good art isn't just from shoving as much money into the art machine as possible and
Mhm.
then art comes out. No,
Mhm.
it's like people and emotions and trauma and creativity, love,
Mhm. Mhm.
the things that make us human, the things that the reason we exist and want to live and want to pursue things. But I guess it's money. Money's the reason.
Well, I think a lot of times they're afraid to do movies like that, but whenever they do them and they do them well, they're always successful. So they should remember that. But
Because even when the movie's not necessarily the most like critically acclaimed or not necessarily critically acclaimed, but even if it doesn't make the most money, it is usually seen by people as good and something worth watching. Like, I don't think Scott Pilgrim made a lot of money.
No, it was a bomb, but everyone still loves it. Everyone still talks about it. But
people still talk about it. It's influential. Like, the comic that that it comes from is influential. Like, it matters to people. It changed people's lives. I know that's like crazy to say. It's like a movie, but it's like, yeah. But some people saw that movie, took the things that they loved from that movie, and turned them into careers that they wanted to then impart onto other people. That's why we make art. This is slop. If you told me AI generated this Aquaman movie, I'd believe you. Yeah,
that's a good point. That's the problem, is it's getting to the point where everything is so formulaic. That's why people reject it. That's why the box office is going down for all these superhero movies, I think. But some of them are good, but most are not.
It's crazy. The source material is right there. There's a reason people love these characters. There's a reason why Aquaman's like 80 years old as a concept. People liked his stories. Pick one.
Okay, one more thing to say.
I like the one where his hand gets cut off to save his son. In that one Justice League movie. It's animated, but it's still my favorite. I went on a big tangent about art.
That was good. That was a good speech.
Yeah, it's a great speech. I'm sure they'll listen to me.
Yeah, I'm sure they will.
They're not just making a movie with ChatGPT right now.
One last thing to say. Remember I was talking about the voices and the echo and all that stuff?
Yeah.
There's one other solution. Telepathy. What if they're swimming, but their mouths are not moving, but they're talking through telepathy? Would that solve the problem?
Probably, because then it all can be ADR, and then you can have them say whatever you want.
Exactly. There you go. There you go. We figured it out.
None of your actors have to open their mouths at all. So you can basically just film it and then write the script after.
Yeah, there you go.
Because that always, as we've learned from Kraven the Hunter, adding the dialogue in after always works really well.
Yes,
and it makes the movie better.
Right. Okay, on that note, we're going to wrap it up. These do upload out of order, so I don't know what order these are going to be in, but for next week's review, we are going to do something you probably thought we'd never do, and that's the Blade TV show.
There's a Blade TV show?
Yes, there is, and we are going to talk about it next week, so be sure to join us. I want to thank Bex Luther for joining me. Yes, for Comic Book Syndicate, but join us for Laser Brains and Tape Crusaders every week, every other week. I don't know the schedule, but yeah, it's always fun. Thanks again, Bex Luthor.
Yeah, you're not welcome.
All right, until the next time, see you later.